We want our children who are in mainstream class to be able to recite the story the next day so that the child can cope up with the class. A mental image of what is being said needs to be built. So how do we do? When we have such like stories in the school, the teacher is doing, our children are not able to understand at all. First, practical has to be done. If you cannot do a practical of the situation like you are doing planetary positions, then YouTube comes in handy, because alone mental picture will not result in reproduction of the story because the memory is not supporting. There, Rajni from Sashak Empowering Lives. So today's topic: how do you get a child with autism to recite a full story, remembering everything about it? So, we want our children who are in mainstream class to be able to recite the story the next day so that the child can cope up with the class. But when we try telling the story to the child, all they remember is the last 2 or 3 lines at best. And the parent gets frustrated that why the child is not able to remember. We have put in so much of effort already to get the child from not talking to talking one word to 2 words to getting them to speak full sentences. And now, when the child is going to a mainstream classroom, and we are very happy that yes, now my child is studying, and now the academic concerns, they're not able to do the story in the class, and you see that there is a clear cut lag. So if you are a parent who's struggling with similar such like situations, today's video is for you. How do you get the child to recite the entire story, oblique, to be able to recite the entire process like a water cycle or seed germination like other children? For this, the child's active working memory has to be increased or improved so that they can retain so much information and then produce it in the right order, one sentence after the other, making a complete meaning. But even before that, a mental image of what is being said needs to be built. So, how do we do? Whatever the concept we want to teach, if it is available on YouTube, say for example, like a story, first we will show a YouTube video. Here I'm going to give an example through a story called Donkey and the Salt. I've taken this complex story because it has not just the recitation element to it, it has a lot of other things like concepts of dissolution, concept of the salt getting dissolved into the water, the concept of salt getting away in the water, and the cotton soaking up water and becoming hard, so becoming heavy. What happens is, when we have such like stories in the school the teacher is doing, our children are not able to understand at all when she's explaining, and add to it their active working memory isn't so much that they can produce it. So, what do you do? If you have a story, say for example, Donkey and the Salt, this would go for anything else. If you have a EVS lesson like water cycle, so there also first you'll do a practical by taking some water, putting it in a katori, in a vessel, putting it in the fridge after a few hours, showing the child this is liquid water and this is solid ice, and then putting the liquid water in a pan and then putting it on the gas and showing the child the vapors, and then putting a lid on the vapors and showing the child the droplets. First, practical has to be done. If you cannot do a practical of the situation like you are doing planetary positions, then YouTube comes in handy. For stories, YouTube comes in handy. So pick up pictures. Today you can use AI also. So pick up pictures that will give a mental clarity. So in this case specifically, what I'm going to share with you, Donkey and the Salt. First, the parent was made to bring some salt and a glass of water in a clear, transparent glass. Now, the child was shown that in the water, the entire bit of salt was dissolved and the salt could not be seen anywhere. Only so much was dissolved that it did not sit at the bottom and the salt could not be seen. And the child was told that, okay, when the salt goes into the water, it dissolves, it goes away. Similarly, a cotton hanky was taken, to be precise, and the hanky was put in a bucket of water. It soaked water and then the hanky was put in the child's hand. In the other hand, a dry hanky was kept and the child could feel the weight. And we said this is made of cotton. Now it has water. Now it is heavy. So this was the first prerequisite. Like I said, any concept you are doing, if you're doing germination, you will have to first of all take 2, 3, 4 soaked seeds, let's say chickpeas, and every single day you would have to first put them in the soil. So let's say you put you take a disposable tea glass, put some soil in it, and then put in a soaked chickpea. And then after 2 days, you put in another soaked chickpea. So what happens is the germinated one, the soaked one. Now the child will begin to see different stages because you are soaking the chickpeas one day after the other alternately. So these are the practical things first you will do, or you will show them on YouTube. Going back to our story. So we did for the salt story. Now we started showing the child. This is easily available on YouTube. So we showed, so every scene that went by, we stopped and then we explained, see what is happening. And then again got the glass of water and the salt. Finally, the mental picture, part A, mental picture in the child was clear. Now comes part B, the retention or the memory, because alone mental picture will not result in reproduction of the story because the memory is not supporting and the memory needs to be there. So point number 2, step number 2, how do you develop memory? So this is how you can develop memory. So to make it easy, I have already clipped it so that we don't waste time. So if you can see here, this is the story of the donkey. You know, the donkey who used to carry the salt and the merchant, and then the salt dissolved when the donkey fell in the water. Now, these strips, they may not be right now arranged one after the other. What you will do is when you are explaining the story, you will arrange the strips. These are with blue tack, so you will arrange the strips one after the other on the table and then explain the story. If your child is a reading writing child going to school, then you will take these strips, you will get the child to read and fix with the correct picture. This way, comprehension is also being taken care of. After 3, 4 separate attempts, you will keep the strips in front of the child and say, first arrange, I will not help, and then explain. When the child is able to arrange and explain, you will take the strips away, the pictures away, and only have the written strips. And say, now arrange. So the child will arrange the strips because the memory is developing. When the child is able to arrange the strips completely, you will put the book away and you will say, now tell the story. What I've done is this specific story, which we did with one student who came to us when she was not able to even speak 2-word phrase, but over a period of 2 years with practice, now an inclusive school student, and we did this story. The video that we are going to now club together with this is where you will see how flawlessly this child using this process has been able to say the entire story. So go ahead, watch this video and then write down in the comments if you want any strategies, specific strategies to teach your child any concept. Once there was a donkey. He was very lazy. His owner was a salt merchant. The salt merchant used to load salt on donkey. and go to the market to sell it. There was a river in the way. The merchant and donkey used to cross in the river to go to the market. One day, the donkey fell into the river. All the salt got dissolved in the water. The donkey felt very light. He felt happy. The donkey started to jump into the river every day to avoid carrying heavy load. The merchant lost all his salt. He could get no money. Merchant was very upset. He decided to teach a donkey a lesson. Then the merchant added cotton to his bags and loaded it on donkey. The donkey again jumped into the river. This time, the cotton did not get dissolved in the water. The cotton became very heavy. The donkey felt very tired. Donkey learned his lesson very well. He promised to never get rid of work. You should not run away from hard work. I hope the strategy was completely clear, and seeing this child gave you a lot of hope that there are ways of tackling autism in a nice, constructive, positive manner, and that your child too can learn. Write down in the comments once you follow through the entire strategy. How was your experience? How did the child learn? Also, should you be interested in purchasing stuff like this, books like this, which we prepare for teaching children various concepts? The links to all of these are given in the description box below. Please feel free and connect with us. These are also available on our app and the numbers given of our office where you can call up and directly order. May each kid win. I shall meet you another time with another topic. Until then, continue working with your child. Like, subscribe, share. Keep connecting with us every Tuesday, 7 to 7:30 for Instagram, YouTube, and YouTube Hindi Live. The links are all given in the description box below. And 7 to 9:30 p.m. for the Autism Masterclass on either Thursdays or Fridays. The links of all of these are given in the description box below. I shall see you next time. Bye-bye.